Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back after that very important case study. Now, I would once again like to give a big shout out to all the sponsors and CXO Global Forum, their whole team for putting together such a brilliant healthcare summit, HealthTech Summit 2022. Moving on, yes, we're not done for the day. Moving on, we have an interesting panel discussion about Pharma's role in digital transformation, led by Dr. Beena, and the guests are Haroon Qasim and Samad Salim. So over to you, Dr. Beena. Please contribute to the knowledge economy.
Beena, बोलें आप लाइव में.
I'll just forward my first question for Mr. Haroon regarding the whole perception or the receptivity of the pharmaceutical sector towards the whole transformation in the digital healthcare sector, and what measures is the company taking to cope up with those challenges?
Okay, thank you. First of all, thank you for this opportunity to be on this panel, and thank you to CXO Forum to organize this the virtual session. I think, like everyone in the global scenario, the pharmaceutical industry was taken with a lot of surprise when this COVID hit, and of course, no one was ready to understand and to address or to see how they're going to, take this up, this challenge of interacting, and how digitally, the employees and work from home, things like this. So I think that the industry took some time, probably a few weeks, but overall they adapted very quickly to all the challenges with this COVID. So as we all know, that COVID was kind of a blessing in disguise, in seeing how the humanity adapt to the challenges. So. But now, after 2.5 years, things are going back to the normal. So generally, people are very happy to use those technology to address the challenges in the current situation. Just to I remember when we started, adapting to technology. I remember our human resource department extensively spent time on Zoom training the team, because the boys were at home, they couldn't go out, the hospitals were not allowing them. So it gave a very good opportunity to our HR department and the training department to bring everyone on the digital platform. And I remember they did exhaustive sessions. I also remember that, we did our national sales conference on digitally. I remember that we have a annual session of our, a very unique session we have, which is called Idea Generation Meeting, which is always on a live. We have people sharing their ideas for the next year. This we also did digitally, virtually, and it was very excellently arranged by the team on the Zoom. And I remember my conversation with the hospitals, when I told them that this telemedicine or telehealth is something which the hospitals need to adapt, because the patients were not coming in. They were sitting at home, but they had to have the medical consultation. And I remember the MD of one of the hospitals said, telemedicine is too early. We're not ready for it. And then after 2 weeks, he called me up and he said, how can you help us in setting up this telemedicine? So okay, we did whatever we could. So I think, as I said, blessing in disguise, and we adapted very, very quickly. And now I think the industry is ready to, continuously adapt to the challenges of the digital scenario and going forward. Thank you.
Beena, are you here? Dr. Beena, can you hear us?
I can't see.
Yeah, we definitely heard you, Mr. Qasim. We did. Loud and clear. Definitely, and it was very, very important. So what I'll do is I'll just take the lead till the connection gets better. So I'll pose the same question. I'll pose the same question to you. How do you think pharmaceutical industry fared during COVID? And how do you think it is adapted, or how receptive do you think it is to digital technology?
This is question for Harun Saab or for me?
For you.
Okay.
It's the same question, so I'm just going to take.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank you, CXO, for this opportunity, and then I would like to thank you, Mr. Harun Qasim. He is leader to me. Industry में इनका बहुत बड़ा नाम है, और it's an honor for me to sit next to him for this session. And thank you everybody else who is connected with us. Harun Qasim's company, Pharmaceutical, was one of those companies when COVID came. They were fortunately prepared for it. Like, they didn't know the COVID came, but because they were very strong in digitalization. Because I'm in the industry since 2008, 2007. They started with GSK, and we heard the term multi-channel marketing, and we introduced e-detailing in 2009 and 2010. So at that time, National Pharmaceutical were not very proactive or towards this multi-channel engagement and digital engagement in pharmaceutical. They preferred conventional method always. But Pharmaceutical and visionary sir Harun Qasim, at that time, they were listening to us. They were giving us opportunity. And before COVID, they had telemedicine solution already. They had a digital platform ready for interact with the doctors, for doctor HCP engagement, and for something for patient as well. So, sir, opportunity. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm sitting right next to you. Coming back to your question, as I told, it's like sir tell us, it's a blessing is disguise. Completely true thing. Pre-COVID, we were trying to pitch. We were trying to educate that this is the future. You cannot avoid it. E-detailing, multi-channel marketing, digitalization in pharmaceutical and in healthcare. This is coming, and you cannot avoid it. But pre-COVID, we were only getting response from multi-channel pharmaceuticals and companies like Pharmaceutical, who were ready to adopt those solutions. But when the COVID came, all of a sudden, because at that till that time, Deodorant has been registered, embarked, branded we are the multi-channel marketers, we are health technology enabler. So then all the national pharmaceuticals came to us and they started the solution, but they were late. So the companies who were already had the solution to some extent, they were ready to fight that position, and they took the advantage, as I must say. So, pre-COVID situation was difficult for us. In COVID, it was like bombardment of Zoom, bombardment of digitalization, and it used when I say telemedicine, people were using WhatsApp and they were saying that we have launched a telemedicine solution for the hospital, but it was not the case. So even at that time, education for awareness for the digitalization in few national pharmaceuticals was not very up to the mark, and that's still we believe that every pharmaceutical leaders should start trainings for their employees so they can understand what is multi-channel marketing, what is digitalization, and how they can actually get benefit out of it. So after COVID, so things are getting, now they have understood the value of the multi-channel marketing, digitalization, SCP engagement through omni-channels. They have understood. So the point is this, now they are ready. Every company, more or less, they are somehow doing something to get themselves on digital scale. And it's a good thing for pharmaceutical industry. It's a good thing for the companies like us. And what I believe, it's like Harun Qasim said, it's a blessing in disguise. So there was some positive angle of it. And now at least we are working on the same line, same scale where the international pharmaceutical are working for. Like they're working on mobile applications. So now we are working for mobile applications here in national pharmaceuticals as well, remote detailing and things like that. So it's a good thing that now after COVID, industry has completely understand the importance of the digital marketing. I hope I answered the question.
You did, wonderfully. So, Dr. Beena, I think your connection is better. You can take over.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking care of it, Dr. Tazeen. So my next question would be, again, I think for Samad and for Mr. Harun Qasim as well. Over the last few years, we've seen a lot of telemedicine and e-health solutions coming up. They're just like a mushroom growth. But is that the right approach, that everyone in their own domains is trying to create solutions which might not be the perfect approach? Or should the industry, the entire healthcare industry, with the multiple stakeholders and multiple expertise holders, should coherently work towards a standardized solution, maybe as a basic to begin with, or the approach that we have right now is the right way to go forward? So we can start with Mr. Harun, if that's okay.
So there's no right or wrong. You have a point there that there is a mushroom growth, but I think keeping in view the population size, the health ecosystem, the infrastructure we are at a very, very intensive stage. I mean, if you look at the total market size of Pakistan pharmaceutical industry, is only $3.5 billion. So one of the largest companies of the world, Pfizer, their expected revenue for 2022 is about $80 billion. So, we're in a drop in a bucket, actually. We know our healthcare spending is the lowest even in the region. Comparing with Sri Lanka, comparing with Bangladesh, India, we're not even scratching the surface. So yes, there is a mushroom growth, but I think all these young members who are coming in, bringing the solutions, have their own domain. Some are, complementing, some are duplicating. But I think the more we have, the innovation will come, and this will give more opportunities to the industry as well as the overall healthcare ecosystem for the future of our country. I think with this population size, 220 million people right now, the expected population of this country will be 350 million people by 2050, which is only 28 years to go. We're talking a huge health burden on the country, and for this we really need many, not some, I think, many such initiatives which can help the healthcare, the ecosystem to build. So I would, go with this, that there should be more coming in and giving the solution to the healthcare.
All right, thank you so much. Samad, do you have any comments there?
Yeah, now, of course.
I can.
Okay, please.
It's all right. You can go ahead. That's fine.
Okay. So I will completely agree with Harun Saab. Like, of course, as many as a startup will come, new product will come. It will be benefit for the industry, for the healthcare industry, for the patient as well. But the problem is this: it has to be centralized.
Have we lost Mr. Samad now?
Oh no! Shoot.
Whatever.
No, you're back now. It's all right.
I'm back.
Yeah.
So, so I will start again. It's good to have as many as possible, like softwares, startups coming in with the solution. It's good for the industry, good for the patient. So, but there has to be some centralized system, some rules. So, like we are not working on blockchain technology, so we can further improve it if some government rules can apply, if we can go for the centralized EMR system. But more products will also give us a benefit for the industry. That's what I believe. So we are going for the good direction. I believe instead we are getting good startup, we are getting good funding. Some of the new startup has got $70 million US funding on one of the startups got recently, which is huge, and it's good for Pakistan economy as well, and good for the industry as well. So I think I will agree with Harun Saab. Okay, it's whatever is happening, we are going to the right direction right now. Now, please, your comments.
I will add my points. Thank you again, Mr. Harun, Mr. Samad, and Beena. It's a pleasure to be here. So I'll just touch base on just one point that I think your first question was, Beena, that is the pharmaceutical industry ready? And I would agree wholeheartedly with Mr. Haroon and Mr. Samad that COVID, apart from bringing such immense devastation and costing so many lives globally, did do, I think, a good service to the healthcare industry. We were right on the brink of digital revolution, but we were just scared. And COVID just didn't give us no hiding place, I would say. And pharmaceutical companies were creeping very slowly to on this wave of digitization. And once COVID hit, they knew there is no other option. They have to adopt technology. And in 2022, actually, 2022 started with such positive collaborations between huge pharmaceutical giants and health tech companies, which is such a positive start, that pharmaceutical companies are now realizing that this is the way to go. We can use digital mobile applications, digital health tools, not only to advance their business, but to overly educate a population or patient demographics at large. I mean, some of the really big mergers that we saw was Pfizer acquired Rest App Health, which is an Australian telehealth company, I think in April 2022. Again, this year, Pfizer did another collaboration with Alex Therapeutics, which is another telehealth digital therapeutics company, again showing that big pharma giants, and I think Roche also did a partnership that was at the start of COVID. But all of this just shows that pharmaceutical industry is ready, accepting the fact that digital disruption is here to stay and is the right path to go. And coming to the point of telemedicine, and I've been working in the telemedicine space a lot pre-COVID as well. And in different parts of the world, I've seen in mature markets like the US, I'm in London right now, how the UK market is behaving. Mushroom growth and small telemedicine startups and initiatives are actually their step in the right direction. We don't even see in developed countries that there will be government level standardization that every telemedicine initiative or a new product has to adhere to. Most of on the government level, the strategies and the guidelines we see are towards patient confidentiality like HIPAA, GDPR. But overall, we do see mushroom growth in all the industries globally, in all healthcare big markets. So I think Pakistan, this big wave of these telemedicine app is definitely a step in the right direction. It will definitely propel more funding from the private sector, and it will definitely lead to a much larger and wider audience as well as acceptance of telemedicine.
Can I add to what Dr. Sazeem said? I still feel that the Pakistan pharma industry has a lot to catch up in when you look at the global scenario. And for this, I think the mushroom growth is good, but the industry has to come to the terms as well. Really focus on the digital. And taking cue from what Dr. Sazeem said, and I was speaking to someone in one of the my colleague in the industry, the CEO. There is a lot we can do for the patient awareness in the young population who are really the customers of this digital trend. So, for example, our awareness of, for example, diabetes, cardiology, any disease we're talking about, if I look at the international companies, they have a really good programs of awareness on the digital communication, which I think the local pharma industry is not gearing up for. So, for example, diabetes is a subject which is really going to be a very big burden on this country. So, using this digital platform, especially for the young teenagers, kids, who are really glued to this apps and to this digital situation nowadays, the company should gear up and address those awareness toward that. Instead of going to the doctors or having big sessions in the hospitals or having big sessions in the schools, we can use these tools for the awareness of any disease that we have. So I think forums like this, the startups which are coming up have to come up, how they can help the pharmaceutical industry in the disease awareness, the solutions, the healthcare solutions. So I think this mushroom growth will be channelized, and the industry has to take a leading role, as Dr. Tazeen mentioned. I didn't know about Pfizer and Roche, acquiring those startups or companies. I haven't seen any pharma company in Pakistan, the big pharma, to go into those digital space and acquiring the startups, or at least helping those startups
Absolutely.
in growing up in the long term. So there's a lot to be done by the pharma industry, I feel. Thank you.
So I think, yes, I completely agree with you, Harun sir. Especially realizing the burden of non-communicable diseases, especially in lower middle income countries like Pakistan. We really need to work a lot on awareness itself, and these digital channels, social media platforms are, I think, the best tools that we can utilize to increase mass awareness. Coming forward to my next question, and I think probably Samad would be the right technical expert, and Dr. Tazeen as well. What is the possibility that we can, channelize, or we can integrate the monitoring devices, especially the portable monitoring devices that a lot of patients are using? For example, devices like a glucometer or a blood pressure apparatus, or those remote pocket ECG monitoring devices. Is it possible to integrate these into the telemedicine channel so that the doctors can keep pace with patients and sort of give us a solution of managing patients remotely, unless it's an emergency situation and the patients do have to land up into their clinics? How do you see it, Samad? And do we have something similar in the UK, Dr. Tazeen?
Should I start?
Sure.
Samad?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely, Dr. Beena. I mean, that is what telemedicine or virtual care, not only telemedicine, any sort of digital technology is bringing to the table, is actually reducing the burden of disease. And how do you reduce that? Is early detection and prevention. And all these remote monitoring tools, smart watches, digital wearables. I mean, not only in the UK, here, I mean, you would see almost everybody, not almost, but a lot of people wearing a smartwatch, which is capturing your oxygen saturation, your sleep level. There's a lot of talk about this post-pandemic mental health crisis. And sleep is, one of the vital signs that can, really tell us about the mental state of a person, or and a stressor or predisposing factor for mental health illness. So definitely, if telemedicine is integrated with these virtual tools, absolutely, you can just increase the effect or the benefits of telemedicine platforms 10 times, because you're monitoring them daily. You are triaging them in a way that you don't, a study says that more than, if we had these remote monitoring tools, more than 80% of people may not have to come to the tertiary care hospitals. They can be seen remotely, and only people who really, really need it's an emergency need to come. So this remote digital monitoring, integrations with the point of care testing equipments, it is definitely expands the benefit of telemedicine.
Completely agree with Dr. Tazeen. I can share a case study here, a glimpse of case study. We have done this connected health solution for one of the leading hospital in Saudi Arabia, King Saud Hospital. Fortunately, we were the part of that deal in which we integrated medical devices. So there's like in hospital, there's a long queue of patients for the bed. And when the patient is under observation, the pregnant woman is under observation, they cannot release the patient, and they cannot ask her to go home unless the certain time of observation is done. So we covered that point, and we integrated fetal beat in fetal heartbeat devices and diabetes devices with the patient, with the software, with the telemedicine solution. And the pregnant woman who were admitted in the hospital, she moved to her home, and the doctors monitor her health through even the baby's heartbeat through that particular devices which we integrated. And it was a very, very, very big successful pilot what we did for King's Hospital, and then they implemented to the 20 different therapeutic areas, 20 different wards on that. They are still using that technology, so it's a very successful case study already, which people around the globe has done it, and they know the benefit of it. So coming back to in Pakistan, we are working on it. I'm sure other companies must be working on it. So it's the future. You're like, it's actually integrated. When you talk about telemedicine, connected health will come. Digital devices, wearables will come. So it's a matter of time how soon the new startups and the hospital would acquire it or would launch it. But it's really very, very beneficial for the patient and for the doctor as well, and complete system, you can say, where it will be benefit to the patient. So in case of emergency, the alarm can ring, and if heartbeat goes wrong or diabetes goes up, so nurse can intimate the doctor can come online and he can see the patient, and if you see it's emergency, ambulance can be sent and it bring to the hospital. So it's a complete 360 loop through connected health. We can cover it, and we're working on it. In Pakistan, it's not a lot not being done right now, but again, I believe in this in near very future we would be seeing some very good products and solutions for the same technology on connected health.
Great.
You want to
Thank
add
you,
something?
Samad. Okay, so moving forward to my next question, I guess that's also a technical question for Digitrends maybe, and that's the whole concept of having chatbots. A lot of companies, especially the people like us who are working for public awareness and patient awareness, we are working on ideas to integrate chatbots on various social media platforms. How do you perceive that, and how do you think it can become a very interactive tool, especially when it comes to screening and identification or screening of people who could possibly be suffering from mental health, like Tazeen mentioned. It's something very common and it's been emerging, and the awareness level is also increasing, especially for mental health and for diseases like diabetes. Very simple screening tools can be used through these chatbots, and they can increase the awareness about the patient pool that we could potentially have.
Shall I start?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. So it's chatbot and AI technology, artificial technology. What I believe, we are very naive, we are very new. Pakistan right now is not ready for that kind of solution. We are working on it, like we as Pakistanis, we as IT companies, health industries, we want to do something like this, but it depends on the data. So for AI system, for chatbot, you need to have tons of data. Only then you can be a perfect for analyzing the thing and reply. So currently, and the other barrier is the language, Urdu language. So there's not much data available on AI system, especially on Roman and Urdu language. So it's a good thing, but still people want someone live human being connected over there to answer them. They don't feel secure if they would be discussing their medical health situation with the chatbot. As long as they have not seen some case studies for it, they, I believe personally, we have not done a lot on this technology. But it takes some time, maybe down the road after 5 years. Just like we are talking about connected health and we're talking about telemedicine, everybody knows it. Even patient has accepted it, doctors have accepted it, they are using it. So after 5 years, maybe we as a nation will start using it. But right now, if we apply even for banking system, I have seen if we apply chatbot on the banking system, customer don't want to use the chatbot system. They prefer to dial, or they prefer to talk to a real time. So they don't prefer using a chatbot, and they want to share their problem to the chatbot. I don't know why, but there's a gap in this. So I think Dr. Zeen in UK and Harun Saab can pour some more light on it. But in Pakistan, I believe it's very nice right now.
Well, I would say, Samad, everybody wants to talk to a person. So if you ask me, if somebody was given a choice to talk to a chatbot or to talk to a real person, anybody in the UK would say a real person. But coming to the question that Dr. Beena asked, so conversational AI is definitely something that's being talked about a lot, where we can use chatbots for preventive care or triaging. And I think that is something that definitely, I'm sure people are trying in Pakistan. I know a few that are trying. And I think that can at least help a person to at least steer them in the right direction. Obviously, chatbots aren't going to treat them, but they can at least steer them, triage them. And this is definitely something that should be looked at. It's a great tool. I think that is very beneficial. Obviously, as Samad said, data is everything. And I was in a panel, moderating a panel earlier today on data. And data is the fuel for AI and machine learning. Unless we all agree on a consensus in Pakistan that data is beneficial for all of us, not only for the hospitals, the pharmaceutical company, but the doctor themselves and the patient, we would never have that fuel to build algorithms on. But again, it's a mindset shift. It's coming, it's there. It'll take a few years. It's taken the Western world a long time. It wasn't a rapid, even now I go to conferences where people really don't trust the machines. Even doctors say, oh, I don't trust the ML and AI because it's going to replace me. So, it's everywhere. These kind of misconceptions and conversations are happening everywhere. But yes, we can put them aside, just focus on the immense benefit that AI will bring. And I'm sure in time, if it is regulated, one thing that I'm very vocal about is ethical data. The biggest problem with machine learning is you feed it wrong data, it can be very dangerous. So if you have clean data, if you have ethical data without any bias, that's wonderful. But then you need frameworks, guardrails, support of every stakeholder to ensure the data is ready to be used for algorithms.
Perfect. I think that sums up really well. So my next question will be to Mr. Harun Qasim again. Sir, I think the entire patient and healthcare relationship is incomplete without the participation of a pharmaceutical company. So how do you think that the digitalization in healthcare and robotic process automation will impact the relationship or the love triangle that a doctor, patient, and a pharmaceutical company have? And maybe if you could share any better practice that Pharmivo is doing, and that can be a learning point for all of us as well.
I think the patient is at the center of everything that we are doing as an industry as well as the overall healthcare. So even if you're a hospital or a pharmacy or the pharmaceutical industry, you boil down to the patient. So I think with this digital, people are coming, they're actually coming to know that, okay, this is a pharmaceutical company, which is for, I'm buying a product or, I'm using a product. Very recently, from the industry, somebody called me that one of your product, one of my family members is using, and she's suspecting that it's a wrong product or something has gone wrong with the product. So the customer or the patient is actually wants to interact with the company directly. So as we're talking about the patient awareness and the disease awareness program, I think the industry can play a very important role in having an interaction with the patient directly. And you can see globally, the companies like Pfizer and MSD, and they already have the patient platforms, where the patients are actually managing those digital the platforms. So I think we are at a very right timing from the industry point of view. But I don't see anything which is in the. I can quote an example where probably Pharmivo or some other company are really doing for the patient, direct interaction. But I think the time is there that we need to get onto this with the patient awareness program, which can be a direct, a link to the patient. And as you rightly said, this is the triangle that, and the patient completes this triangle. Thank you.
Right. Dr. Tazeen, would you like to add anything to that?
Actually, I mean, I would just second Mr. Haroon that I think every stakeholder, Dr. Beena, right now has patient at the center, at the heart. When we talk about patient-centered care, when we talk about value-based care, be it pharmaceutical, be it health tech companies, be it a private or the public sector, be it investors, entrepreneurs, we in the end want to make the life better for the patient. And again, coming back to the model of prevention, continuous monitoring is taking us, and these wearables, remote monitoring tools, all of us are moving into this shift where we are looking at health as a holistic of growth, where we don't have to treat you when you get sick. We can take care of you before you get sick. And I think that is where we all need to work. It's not a one man's job. I think healthcare is such a sensitive and complex system, and with a lot of emotions in it. It takes a lot of stakeholders coming to the table and talking about it. Awareness, again, is key for any, I would say, country, Dr. Beena, not only Pakistan. Awareness is the key, be it awareness of the patient, be it awareness of the clinicians or the pharmaceutical industry. So definitely, and I think all of us are learning. I mean, for one, I would say I learn concepts every day. What is digital therapeutics? What is beyond the bill principles that people are talking about? How do we implement those? So I think it's a learning curve. It's an exciting time. And I think we all have a role to play.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Thank you. So I think one of my
Can I add to what Dr. Tazeen?
Sure. Yeah, sure, sir.
She talked about emotions and, being the patient at the center. I remember, one of our trust hospitals, the MD said, you don't go to the hospital by your choice. I mean, I go to a restaurant, because I want to feel good, I want to be entertained, I want to go to a party by choice. But you don't go to a hospital or to the clinic or to a pharmacy by choice. There's some pain which is bringing you to that hospital or to a doctor. So the whole concept of patient-centered and empathy is the most important segment which we have to keep in mind. Sometimes in this the commercial transactions we forget that empathy, but at the end of the day, the healthcare have to be different from the commercial transaction. Like I mean, I will never go to a hospital just to have a Coca-Cola or a bottle of drink or a bottle of water. It just doesn't happen as a human psychology. So the patient center and empathy is the most important. And thank you, Dr. Tazeen, you mentioned about it.
Absolutely agree with you, sir. So I think lastly, over the last few years that I've spent in the pharmaceutical industry, I'm aware that there are few companies who are running, call centers or helplines of some sort. Either they're just for order taking or just for counseling the patients about diabetes education. So how possible is it, maybe that question might be for Samad Salim right here, that these processes can be automated or digitalized in a way that they can be a source of information for the patients, serve as purpose of prescription processing, product reminders, product refills, and also maybe a tool for medical history management so that the patients have control over their data, over their information, and this can later on be channelized to their respective healthcare professionals. Because right now in Pakistan, we know that one patient does not have one healthcare professional. They like to, hop around, change their physicians, based on feedback and based on their needs as well. So how easy is it that this can be digitalized or transformed as well?
I'm getting a question like you're asking me if we can send the reminders to the patient regarding their dosage reminders and their health tips to the patient directly through digital mediums. Okay, so it's being done already. Some of our clients, especially who are working for insulin business, they are doing it. We send regular reminders for the insulin and dosage reminders and tips for diabetes, and it's a very good thing, like because we normally send this with the branding of the doctor. So when they see it from, if they see it from the pharmaceutical name, they will not believe it, trust it. But if they see it from the SCP, for their family physician, for their diabetes educator, they really value it. And so we tried it, doing it, and then we realized if we will send it through SCPs, through doctor's name, they will listen or more, and almost 30% of the ratio would increase when we change our strategy. So not a lot, but it is also already being done in Pakistan, fortunately, and patients are getting benefits from it. They are liking it, they subscribe for it. And in fact, if they change their number, they came to us or they came to doctor, so update their mobile number so they can get the reminders. And we're working on few mobile applications where they can add their insulin, and then mobile application can send the notification to them. At this time, you have to take it. And the main purpose was, for the commercial angle was, they want to call the patient that your insulin is like you have to buy the new one for after 15 days or after 1 week. So they get to know when they have to call for the new order. So it's a commercial angle as well. But I personally believe if we can increase it to the masses, like if one NMC is doing for their couple of products, we cannot even getting 0.1% of the total population of diabetes. So if you want to go to the masses, these drives can be done through SMS, where or a language barrier. This should be we should apply Urdu and native languages for this, and we must educate them through multi-channel, like through TVCs, through DVCs, so they subscribe in majority. So for this, some society and few pharmaceuticals, some institute, if they can come join together, and they can if they can introduce this kind of solution for the masses of Pakistan, so it will really make a real impact in diabetes and in other chronic diseases. But currently, as being technology enablers, we are doing this, and we are doing it for very few patients, I should say. But we know the value of it, and we understand the value of it, and we have the case studies for it. I believe it's it has to be done, but unfortunately, like Dr. Tazeen said, it's not a one-man job. We cannot do this. Even one pharmaceutical cannot do this. We have to come up on something like on the partners, societies, universities, pharmaceuticals, doctors, and then if we can implement these kind of things, it will really be very benefits. I hope I answered the question.
Thank you so much, Samad. So with that, we're coming up to a wrap. Just some closing remarks from Harun Sir before we wrap up our session.
I think a lot of scope in this still. The industry has really a lot to do. They've done a lot, but I think there's more room to do on the patient awareness, and getting a group of the young and the teenagers who can really build the healthcare infrastructure in the future. So we have a lot of potential, and I'm excited how things are turning up in the digital space in Pakistan as well as globally.
Thank you, sir. So any motivational words, Dr. Tazeen? Anything that could inspire Pakistanis to get better at this?
I think we all understand the importance of digital technology. What I say to everybody is that if we can use WhatsApp and TikTok, you can use a telemedicine app and a pharmaceutical app to get to see a doctor. So I think the foundation is set. I think the telecommunication penetration has been great in the last 2 years. I think we can capitalize on this. And I think with the help of all the stakeholders, again, public, private, people like Mr. Harun, Mr. Saad, you, CCL, forums like this, I think I'm really excited for the future.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone. Mr. Harun, Qasim, Mr. Samad, Dr. Tazeen. It was lovely to catch up with all of you again. I think it's just all about internal drive and our internal will to make it better and put in our bits of value that we can add to make the systems and processes better for the future generations as well. It's not just you or me who would need telemedicine, but our future generations as well. So with that, I think we'd be wrapping up our session. a huge thank you to CXO Global for this initiative as well. So thank you very much and have a pleasant evening.
Thank you,
Thank
Beena.
you.
Definitely,
Thank
Beena.
you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you so
Harun,
much.
Mr.
Thank
Summit.
you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, both of you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.